Ladies and gentlemen, pause for a moment and look at your life. Think about the dream you once carried within you. Perhaps as a child, perhaps as a younger version of yourself. Do you still feel it? Does it still whisper to you late at night when the world is silent? The tragedy is not that people aim too high and miss. The tragedy is that they aim too low and hit. Too many give up on their dreams not because they were impossible, but because they simply stopped believing. The truth is simple, and it is unchanging. We become what we think about most of the time. If we let doubt rule our thoughts, doubt will rule our lives. But if we let our dreams dominate our minds, then nothing, absolutely nothing, can prevent their fulfillment. The man or woman who holds firmly to a dream is like a ship with a compass. They may face storms, delays, and setbacks, but they know exactly where they are going. Contrast this with the person who quits, who abandons their vision at the first sign of resistance. Without a goal, without a dream, they drift aimlessly at sea, tossed by every wave. It is not fate that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It is persistence. Each of us has within us the power to transform our lives. The mind is the richest soil known to man. Plant in it seeds of doubt and fear, and it will return weeds and thorns. Plant in it seeds of faith and determination, and it will produce a harvest beyond imagination. Your dreams are the seeds. Your persistence is the water. Your action is the sunlight. Without these, the dream withers. But with them, it grows into a reality no one can deny. When you feel tired, remember why you started. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself that every successful man and woman has faced the same voice of doubt. They too were tempted to quit. The difference is, they didn't. They pressed forward when it was darkest. They kept going when the world said stop. That is the mark of greatness. Not talent, not luck, but the quiet courage to keep moving forward. You may not see the results today. You may not see them tomorrow. But every step you take toward your dream is progress. Success, as I've often said, is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Not the final result, but the steady march toward it. And so long as you do not quit, so long as you keep your eyes fixed on that star, you are a success already. So hold fast to your dream. Guard it, feed it, nurture it with every thought, every action, every breath. The world will try to sway you. Circumstances will attempt to break you. But remember this, the only way you can truly fail is if you decide to quit. Don't quit your dreams. For in them lies your purpose, your destiny, your reason for being alive. And nothing is more important than that. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the dream that once lived inside you. Not just an idle wish, not just a passing thought, but that vision you carried so vividly that it almost felt real before the world convinced you otherwise. Every person at some point in their life has felt it. That quiet fire in the chest, that certainty that life could be larger, greater, richer than what it appeared to be. And yet, how many let that dream slip away, trading it for comfort, routine, and the illusion of safety? The greatest loss in life is not the loss of money, possessions, or even time. It is the loss of that dream. Because once a dream dies, the very spark of a person's existence begins to dim. Consider for a moment the way most people move through their days. They wake up, go to work, go home, and repeat the cycle endlessly. Not because they chose this pattern consciously, but because at some point they stopped asking questions. They stopped listening to the voice inside that urged them to reach higher. They stopped daring. And the tragedy is not that they could not have achieved their dream, but that they quietly gave it up before they ever really tried. When you look closely at life, you see it everywhere. People who had talent but never cultivated it. People with ideas but never acted on them. People who once believed but let doubt conquer their hearts. What separates the few who achieve greatness from the many who merely exist is not luck, and it is not genius. It is persistence. It is the refusal to quit on one's dream when everything seems to be against you. And here lies the first great lesson. The moment you resolve never to quit, you have already taken yourself out of the crowd of average lives. The crowd quits at the first setback. The crowd gives up when progress feels too slow. The crowd abandons hope when obstacles appear. But the one who endures, the one who continues in spite of fear, in spite of uncertainty, in spite of discouragement, that person cannot be stopped. Now ask yourself, why do so many people quit? The answer is not complicated. They quit because they measure success by how quickly it comes instead of by how faithfully they pursue it. They expect immediate results, instant recognition, swift progress. But life does not reward the impatient. Life rewards the persistent. Every seed that is planted takes time to grow. A farmer does not plant today and harvest tomorrow. He knows there are seasons of growth, times of waiting, moments when nothing appears to be happening above the surface. Yet beneath the soil, life is stirring. The same is true of your dream. You may not see the results right now, but if you quit, you end the process before the harvest ever has a chance to arrive. The truth is that every obstacle, every delay, every disappointment is part of the preparation. They are not signs that your dream is impossible. They are the tests that separate the committed from the casual. They are the fire that strengthens the steel of your character. If you expect the journey to be smooth, you will quit at the first bump. But if you understand that the bumps are the journey, you will walk on with strength. The dream is not given to you because it will be easy. It is given to you because pursuing it will transform you into who you were meant to become. There is an immutable law of life. You become what you think about most of the time. If you think of doubt, you will create doubt. If you think of fear, you will live in fear. But if you think of your dream, if you allow it to fill your mind day and night, if you nourish it with thoughts of faith and images of possibility, then your dream will become your reality. Your mind is the soil, and what you plant in it grows. The weeds of negativity will sprout quickly if you do not guard it, but the flowers of hope and persistence will bloom if you nurture them. So, in this moment, reflect on the dream that still flickers in your heart. Perhaps you buried it beneath years of excuses. Perhaps you told yourself it was too late, that you were too old, too young, too unqualified, too unlucky. Push those lies aside, for they are nothing more than shadows. The dream was given to you because you have within you the ability to make it real. The only thing that can take it from you is your decision to quit. And if you resolve right now never to quit, no matter how long it takes, no matter how rough the road becomes, then you are already closer than you have ever been. There is a remarkable difference between the individual who has a dream and refuses to let it go, and the one who quietly surrenders it at the first sign of difficulty. One is like a ship at sea guided by a compass, knowing its destination even when the horizon is filled with storm clouds. The other is like a vessel without a rudder, drifting wherever the currents of chance may take it. And make no mistake, life has a way of testing every dream. The winds will rise, the waves will strike, and the compass will be questioned. But if the dream remains fixed in the heart, if the course is not abandoned, the storms cannot destroy the journey. They can only delay the arrival. What so many fail to realize is that quitting does not bring relief. It may remove the immediate struggle. It may silence the voice of effort for a time, but it introduces a far greater burden, the burden of regret. There is no pain more lasting, no weight heavier, than the knowledge that you could have done more but chose not to. The years pass, the opportunities fade, and the dream, once vibrant, becomes a haunting reminder of what might have been. Those who persist may feel the pain of effort, but those who quit must carry the pain of what they lost forever. Think of the countless men and women throughout history who stood exactly where you now stand, faced with obstacles, discouraged by failures, tempted to walk away from their vision. The world remembers them not because they avoided struggle, but because they endured it. They became symbols of determination, because when every voice told them to quit, they kept moving forward. Every great invention, every work of art, every scientific breakthrough, every human advancement we now take for granted was once a fragile dream in the mind of someone who refused to quit. And yet, persistence is not only about the extraordinary few. It belongs to everyone. It belongs to the student struggling to finish their education. It belongs to the parent working tirelessly to provide a better life. It belongs to the entrepreneur building a vision brick by brick. It belongs to the artist, the teacher, the leader, the laborer, the thinker, the dreamer. It belongs to you. The decision to keep going is universal. It is not reserved for the lucky, the talented, or the wealthy. It is available to all who dare to claim it. When the storms of life come, the temptation is always to believe that you are alone in your struggle. But the truth is, every person who ever achieved anything of significance has walked the same road. They too were discouraged. They too faced doubt. They too felt tired. The only difference between those who succeeded and those who surrendered is that one more step was taken, One more day was endured, one more effort was made. Success is rarely about brilliance, it is about endurance. The human spirit is far more resilient than we give it credit for. What breaks most people is not the weight they carry, but the belief that they cannot carry it any longer. Change that belief, and suddenly what once seemed unbearable becomes possible. Remember this: the body follows the mind. The moment you decide you will endure, your strength multiplies. The moment you decide you will not quit, the path ahead becomes manageable. Obstacles do not disappear, but they lose their power to defeat you. There is a certain dignity in persistence, a quiet nobility in refusing to surrender. It is the mark of character, the proof of inner strength. The one who keeps going when others stop is not only chasing a dream, but becoming an example to all who watch. Children, friends, family, even strangers take courage when they see someone refuse to quit. Your persistence may not only change your life, it may change the lives of those who draw inspiration from you. So, as you hold the compass of your dream, remember this truth: the storm is not a sign to quit, but a chance to prove your direction. The waves do not come to sink you, but to shape you. The horizon may seem far, but each moment of persistence brings it closer. And in the end, the difference between those who drift aimlessly and those who arrive at their chosen shore is found in a single decision not to quit. Every dream begins as a seed, and like all seeds, it must be nurtured to grow. The soil is your mind, and the quality of your thoughts will determine whether that dream takes root or withers away. Too often people neglect this truth. They allow fear, doubt, and negativity to take residence in their thinking, and then they wonder why their dreams never flourish. The human mind is the most fertile ground known to man. Whatever is planted in it, good or bad, will grow and multiply. If we sow thoughts of failure, limitation, and weakness, that is exactly what we will reap. If we sow thoughts of confidence, persistence, and victory, then in time, our harvest will reflect those very qualities. Think carefully about the kind of gardener you have been with your own mind. Have you been attentive, removing the weeds of pessimism whenever they appear, or have you allowed them to spread unchecked, choking the life out of your ambitions? Many will say, "I want to achieve great things," yet they allow the constant repetition of small, defeating thoughts to dominate their days. Words like, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "it's too late," are seeds, and every time they are repeated they grow stronger. Left unattended, they form a thicket so dense that the dream suffocates beneath them. But the one who guards his thoughts carefully, who replaces every "I can't" with "I will," who chooses to nurture faith instead of fear, will find his dream gaining strength even when outward circumstances seem unchanged. Do not underestimate the silent power of what you dwell on each day. Every great achievement you see in the world first existed only in someone's mind. A building before it was bricks was a vision. A book before it was words on a page was a thought. A company before it was an enterprise was an idea. And so too with your dream. It may exist now only as an image, a desire, a spark. But given time, focus, and persistence, it becomes just as real as the air you breathe. The mind is the workshop where all of life's creations are shaped. The question is, what are you building in yours? This is why it is not enough to simply say, "I have a dream." You must return to it daily. You must feed it with your attention. You must protect it from the doubts of others. For make no mistake, the world will not always encourage you. Some will laugh at your dream. Others will doubt it. Many will try to talk you out of it. Not because they know what is best for you, but because they have already given up on their own dreams and cannot bear to see you pursue yours. If you let their voices take root in your mind, they will grow stronger than your own conviction. But if you guard your dream and keep your mind fixed on it, their words lose their power. There is an undeniable law of cause and effect in life. What you hold in your mind and nourish with persistence will, in time, shape your reality. The details may unfold differently than you imagine. The road may twist and turn in ways you did not foresee, but the destination will always align with the direction of your thoughts. This is why persistence in thought is just as vital as persistence in action. Action alone, without a guiding dream, is wasted effort. Thought alone, without persistent action, is unfulfilled potential. But when thought and action unite, held together by a refusal to quit, the results are unstoppable. When doubt creeps in, and it will, you must remind yourself of this truth. What you think about consistently, you will move toward. And what you move toward with patience and determination, you will eventually reach. It may take months, it may take years, but every step is a step closer. The mind creates the vision, and persistence makes it real. That is why the simple act of not quitting, of holding to your dream in thought and action day after day, is one of the most powerful forces in existence. So guard your thoughts as a farmer guards his fields. Feed your mind with the images of the life you wish to create. Reject every thought that seeks to diminish your dream, and remember that the seed of greatness is already within you. All it requires is time, care, and the unwavering decision never to quit. There comes a moment in every pursuit when fatigue sets in. The hours feel longer, the road appears endless, and the temptation to stop whispers louder than ever before. It is in this moment that character is revealed, for it is easy to move forward when energy is high and everything seems possible. But the true test of persistence is not in the beginning, when the dream is fresh and the excitement new. It is in the middle, when the struggle is heavy, when results seem invisible, and when doubts grow louder with every step. This is where most people quit. And yet this is also the very place where greatness is forged. When you feel tired, do not mistake that fatigue as a sign to give up. It is a signal that you are stretching beyond your old limits. Growth is never comfortable. Muscles ache as they grow stronger, the mind strains as it learns, and the spirit is tested as it matures. The weariness you feel is not the end of your journey. It is the evidence that transformation is underway. To quit here is to abandon the very process that is making you capable of achieving your dream. Every successful person you admire has stood in this place of exhaustion. They too felt the weight of discouragement pressing down upon them. They too heard the inner voice whisper, "It's not worth it. Just stop." The only difference between them and those who never reach their dream is that they refused to listen. They pushed forward one more day, one more step, one more effort, and each time they resisted the urge to quit, their resilience grew stronger. What once felt unbearable became manageable. What once seemed impossible became achievable. This is why you must learn to reframe the moments of struggle. Do not see them as proof that you cannot succeed. See them as training grounds for the strength you will need to succeed. Life is not punishing you by placing obstacles in your path. It is preparing you by shaping your endurance. The dream is not only about reaching the destination, it is about who you become on the way there. And the only way to become the person worthy of your dream is to endure what others will not. When frustration builds, remind yourself of why you began. Return to the vision that first ignited your spirit. Close your eyes and picture it as clearly as you did when you first discovered it. Feel again the excitement, the hope, the conviction that it was possible. That image will restore your energy. That vision will carry you when your strength feels depleted. For the dream itself is a source of fuel, but only if you keep it alive in your mind. And remember this, the length of the journey is not a measure of its worth. Some dreams take longer to achieve because they are larger, because they require more preparation, because the path to them must carve deeper lessons into your character. Do not resent the time it takes. Do not compare your progress to that of others. A tree that grows quickly may also fall quickly, but a tree that grows slowly sinks its roots deep into the earth and stands strong for generations. Your dream is not a race, it is a destiny. And destiny does not arrive on demand. It arrives when persistence proves you are ready. In those moments when quitting seems like the easier choice, pause and consider the cost. What will you gain by quitting? Relief, perhaps, but only for a short while. What will you lose? The chance to know what you are truly capable of. The chance to see your dream made real. The chance to inspire others with your example. The temporary comfort of quitting cannot compare to the lasting satisfaction of enduring. One is fleeting, the other eternal. So when you feel weary, do not stop. When you feel overwhelmed, do not surrender. Instead, take one more step. Rest if you must, but do not abandon your path. For every step you take in weariness is worth twice as much as a step taken in ease. Every moment of persistence in the face of difficulty writes a new chapter in your story, a chapter of strength, courage, and faith. And those chapters, when put together, create a life of significance. Patience is a rare virtue in a world that worships speed. Everywhere we look, people demand quick results, instant gratification, and immediate rewards. But the truth remains, the most valuable things in life cannot be rushed. Just as no farmer expects to plant in the morning and harvest by nightfall, you cannot expect your dream to mature overnight. It takes time. It takes consistent effort. It takes a willingness to keep going when progress is invisible. And this is where many give up. They confuse the silence of growth with the absence of progress. They believe that because they cannot see results, nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, unseen to the eye, the roots of their dream may be stretching deeper, anchoring stronger, preparing for the moment when it will finally break through. You must remind yourself that success is not a single moment but a process. A steady, daily progression toward a worthy ideal. Each step, each action, each sacrifice is part of that process. Even the smallest movement forward counts, for it brings you closer than you were yesterday. This is why persistence is not about giant leaps, but about consistent steps. The man who takes one determined step every day will outdistance the man who runs hard for a week and then collapses. Endurance beats intensity when intensity burns out too soon. It is important to remember that your dream does not have to be understood by everyone else. Too often, people abandon their path because others fail to see the vision. But it was never given to them. It was given to you. Their lack of understanding does not diminish its truth. If you allow their doubts to shape your actions, you will live their life, not yours. But if you hold to your dream even when no one else believes, you will one day show the world what persistence can create. The voices of doubt may surround you, but they cannot defeat the voice within you unless you allow them to. And while you march toward your dream, you must accept that setbacks are not failures. They are lessons in disguise. Every obstacle carries a message. Every delay contains a preparation. The path may not unfold as you imagined, but it always unfolds as it should. The dream does not wither because the road turns, it adapts, it bends, it grows stronger. Quitting, on the other hand, turns the temporary into the permanent. A delay is never defeat until you decide to stop. Think of how a sculptor creates a masterpiece. The block of stone looks nothing like the final figure. It must be chipped, hammered, carved again and again before the beauty within it is revealed. If the sculptor quit halfway, he would leave behind nothing but a disfigured stone. But with patience and persistence, the stone becomes art. Your life is the same. Every challenge is a chisel, every struggle a strike of the hammer, shaping you into the person capable of fulfilling your dream. To quit midway is to leave your masterpiece unfinished. There is also a quiet joy in persistence that few understand until they experience it. It is the satisfaction of knowing you stayed the course, the pride of resisting the temptation to quit. This satisfaction is not given, it is earned. It is earned in the late nights when you keep working while others sleep, in the early mornings when you rise despite fatigue, in the countless times you choose to continue when surrender would be easier. These moments accumulate, and with them comes a strength no one can take away from you. As you continue, you will notice something remarkable. The very act of not quitting becomes a habit, and like all habits, it grows easier with repetition. At first, persistence feels heavy, as though you are dragging yourself through resistance. But each time you refuse to quit, your resolve strengthens, until persistence becomes natural, almost automatic. You become the kind of person who endures, who keeps moving, who never backs down. And once you become such a person, your dream is no longer a distant possibility. It is an inevitable reality. So, when the temptation arises to give up, remind yourself of the truth. Progress is happening even when you cannot see it. The dream is alive even when the world doubts it. The only requirement is that you continue. One more step, one more day, one more effort. That is the secret of those who succeed. They are not faster, they are not luckier, they are not more gifted. They are simply the ones who refuse to stop. There is a power that awakens within a person the moment they decide not to quit. It is as if an invisible reservoir of strength, long hidden, suddenly reveals itself. Many go through life never discovering this inner power, because they surrender too soon, never pushing far enough to uncover what they are capable of. But the few who refuse to let go of their dreams, who continue through fatigue, doubt, and delay, learn something extraordinary about themselves. They learn that the human spirit is far stronger than the obstacles that surround it. They discover that persistence itself is the bridge between the dream and its fulfillment. The journey toward any dream is never straight. It winds, it bends, it climbs steep hills, and it tests you at every turn. But those very turns and climbs are what prepare you for the heights you are destined to reach. If the road were easy, it would produce nothing of value. Ease never shapes character. Struggle does. Difficulty does. Endurance does. What seems at first like resistance is, in truth, the very thing giving you the strength to carry the weight of your destiny. Quitting does not protect you from hardship. It only prevents you from receiving the reward hidden within it. Understand this: the dream is not separate from you. It is not something distant, living far away on the horizon. It is a reflection of what already exists within you, waiting for expression. The longing you feel, that unshakable vision, is life itself urging you to grow into more than you are today. To abandon it is to abandon part of yourself. And when people quit their dreams, it is not just the dream that dies. Something inside them withers too. The spark fades and they live, but without the fire that gives life its meaning. But when you hold to your dream, when you press on despite every reason to stop, you keep that fire alive. And that fire not only lights your path, it lights the way for others. There are people who will never tell you, but who will draw courage from your example. They will see your persistence and believe that they too can endure. Your refusal to quit becomes a silent encouragement, a beacon in a world where so many have surrendered. Without speaking a word, your life will teach them the value of perseverance. It is also vital to realize that success is not only found at the destination. It is found in the daily decision to move forward. Every day you choose not to quit, you are living successfully. Every time you push past doubt, you are already achieving. Success is not measured solely by what you accomplish, but by the person you become through the process. And when you finally arrive at your goal, you will look back and see that it was not just the dream that mattered. It was the strength, wisdom, and courage you gained along the way. So let the dream guide you. Let persistence sustain you, and let every challenge refine you. When the night feels long, remember the dawn always comes. When the weight feels heavy, remember strength is being built. When the road feels endless, remember every step brings you closer. The dream is not beyond your reach. It is waiting, as it always has been, for you to keep moving toward it. And above all, remember this truth: the only way to fail is to quit. If you refuse to quit, you cannot be defeated. You may be delayed, but not denied. You may stumble, but you will rise again. You may face storms, but you will not sink. As long as you hold to your dream, it remains alive, and as long as it remains alive, your future remains limitless. The world belongs not to those who start strong, but to those who finish strong. And the finish belongs to those who never quit. Now you have all 6 expanded sections flowing together into a full-length motivational speech in the Earl Nightingale style. In the end, everything we have spoken about returns to a single truth: the dream you carry is not an accident, and your decision to hold on to it or to let it go will shape the entire course of your life. Obstacles will come, fatigue will tempt you, doubt will whisper, and the world may not always understand. Yet none of these forces can stop you unless you stop yourself. The only way to fail is to quit. If you choose persistence, if you choose to rise each time you fall, if you choose to keep your dream alive through thought and action, then you are already a success. Every step forward is proof. Every refusal to quit is victory. And every day you continue is a declaration to the world that you are living with purpose. The fire within you is waiting to burn brighter. The dream within you is waiting to be made real. Do not silence it. Do not surrender it. Let it guide you, strengthen you, and transform you. For those who quit may find comfort for a moment, but those who persist find fulfillment for a lifetime. So go forward with courage. Guard your dream. Feed it, live for it. And remember always, the world belongs to those who do not quit.